Hello children, welcome to this online class. In this class, we will discuss about the subject science and this session is for class 9. In this session, we will discuss the chapter 2 that is matter around us pure? And in this chapter, we will discuss the topic that is separation of mixtures. Dear children, there are number of methods for separating a mixture from its component. But the selection of the method for separation depends upon the state of mixture. So let's see how many methods are there for separation of a mixture into its components. There are number of methods. See, evaporation, centrifugation, separation of immiscible liquids, separation of a mixture by sublimation, chromatography, distillation, fractional distillation, separation of the gases of the air and crystallization. Now we will discuss each and every method in detail. So let's start with first method, that is evaporation. Evaporation is used to separate a solid substance that has dissolved in a liquid. For example, how we obtain the colored component from ink. See, take a beaker half filled with water and approximately 5 ml ink in a china dish or in a watch glass. Set the watch glass upper side of the beaker. Now heat the content. When water will evaporates, it will heat the watch glass, and when watch glass will heat, then the water which is present in the watch glass will evaporate. If after some time full water of the dish evaporates, then stop heating. Water evaporates and a small amount of colored material left in the china dish. So like this, we can separate the solid components that is dissolved in a liquid by the process of evaporation. Our next process is centrifugation. What is centrifugation? Centrifugation is the process of separating the suspended particles of a substance from a liquid in which a mixture is rotated at a high speed in a centrifuge. For example, if we want to separate cream from the milk, then what we will do? First, take the milk in a closed container or placed in a big centrifuge machine. When centrifuge machine is switched on, then milk is rotated at a high speed. Due to this, milk separates into cream and skimmed milk. Cream is lighter, so it will float on the surface of the milk, and skimmed milk is heavier, that's why it will settle at the bottom. Like this, we can remove the cream from the milk. Next process is separation of immiscible liquids. What are immiscible liquids? Immiscible liquids are the liquids in which the component of the liquid forms a layer. How? See, a mixture of two immiscible liquids can be separate by using separating funnel like this. This is a separating funnel. For example, take water and mixture of water and kerosene oil. So it will form a two layer water in the bottom side and upper side it is a layer of kerosene oil. Now open this nozzle. If we will open this nozzle, then water will collect in separate flask, and this kerosene will kerosene will remain in the separating funnel. Our next process is separation of a mixture by sublimation. What is sublimation? Sublimation is a process in which a solid directly converts into vapor or in gaseous form. The process of the sublimation is used to separate those substances from mixture which sublime on heating. For example, common salt and ammonium chloride. Take a mixture of common salt and ammonium chloride in a china dish and keep the china dish on the tripod. This is known as tripod. Now cover this china dish with an inverted funnel and close the upper part of the funnel with a cotton plug. Why? Because when we will heat the content, then ammonium chloride, the vapor of ammonium chloride will leave in the funnel. It will not escape into the atmosphere. Now heat the content. After heating, ammonium chloride will convert into vapor form, and when these vapor will come in the contact of this of the wall of the funnel, it will become cool, and after cooling directly it will convert into the solid form. This is the process through which we can separate a mixture by sublimation. Our next process is chromatography. What is this chromatography? Chromatography is a technique of separating two dissolved solids which are present in a solution in a very small quantity, like this. If we want to separate dyes present in the black ink, then take a strip of filter paper, draw the mark with the help of pencil of approximately 3 cm from the one end, put some drop of the ink and let it be dry. Okay. After drying, arrange the filter paper on the rod and put it into the beaker which is filled with water, and after this water will rise up because of the capillary action, and when this water will rise up, the dye which is more soluble in water dissolve first, rise faster and produce a color, and the dye which is less soluble will dissolve a little later, rise slower and formed a colored spot at the lower portion or at the lower height. So like this we can separate the components in the black ink. Distillation is also a method to separate the component of a mixture, and in this method we can get both the components of the mixture. So distillation is a process of heating a liquid to form vapor and then cooling the vapor to get back liquid. For example, if we want to separate salt and water from salt water mixture, then we will use this distillation process. So first of all, set the distillation apparatus. This is the distillation flask I named A. This is side tube I named B. This is condenser I named C. So first of all, take the mixture in the distillation flask and heat the content. After heating, water will convert into vapor and it will come in side tube. With the help of this side tube, it will enter in this condenser, and when the vapors will enter in condenser, it will cool, and after cooling it will convert into water, and this is known as distillate, as well as we can say distilled water also. Next process is frictional distillation. The mixture of water and acetone is separated by the process called frictional distillation. So if we want to separate acetone and water from the acetone water mixture, then we will use this frictional distillation. See, same, set the apparatus and take the content in the distillation flask and heat the content. When we will heat the content, that time acetone convert into vapor form, and when it will come in the contact of this condenser, it will become cool and convert into liquid form. So like this we can separate water and acetone from the mixture. Next process is separation of the gases of the air. So frictional distillation is a separation method where the difference in boiling point of the components is used to separate the liquid mixture into frictions through distillation. The air which is in gaseous form is converted into liquid air, and this is done under the higher pressure like this. This is the frictional distillation process. In this, air will come inside, and because of the compression it will convert into liquid form, and it will cool and it will convert into liquid form. And when this liquid form will heat, then first of all nitrogen will separate because it's a boiling point of nitrogen is less. Then argon will separate because its a boiling point is second. After this, oxygen will separate. Next process is crystallization. Crystallization is a technique used for the purification of substances. A separation technique is to separate solids from a solution. So first of all, dissolve the solid contents in any solvent and heat the content. After heating the content, take a funnel and set into any stand, and put a filter paper in this funnel and pour the content or pour their solution. That time liquid will separate as a filtrate in a beaker, and crystals will remain in the filter paper. So like this we can separate the soluble solids of the solution with the help of crystallization. So dear children, these are the some methods for separating components of the mixture, and we will use these methods only by seeing the state of the mixture. If the mixture is solid liquid, then we will use different method. If mixture is in gaseous form, then we will use frictional distillation. And if mixture is liquid and liquid, then we will use different method like a separating funnel, etc. So all the best and thank you for seeing this video.